we filming?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to be showing you how to pour plates. We're going to be pouring the large version of plates. We also have small plates that look a little bit more like this. These plates have bacteria growing on them already. So large plates come in these big stacks of 10. So you just slip them open like that with your scissors. And you're going to want to flip them so that the caps are upwards. So the top flip, put them down. And you can see this is what a plate looks like. The cap is bigger, and we're going to be pouring media right into there. But right now we want to keep this closed so it remains sterile. So I'm going to move this aside. I'm going to put an antibiotic into my plate. So I grab my P1000. I have my 1000X antibiotic stocks. In this case, we're going to be doing kanamycin. So I've already thawed it. So I tap it down, open it up, take out 1 ml. Open up my LB agar. It's still warm, so you don't want to do this when it's too hot, because you're going to get a lot of bubbles on the bottom of your plate, which makes it confusing and hard to see colonies.
And kills the antibiotic.
And it may kill the antibiotic depending on what you're using. If you're using ampicillin, it'll kill it. So now we want to mix it in. So if I shake it like this, that's bad because I'm going to get a ton of bubbles. And again, bubbles are bad because it makes it very hard to plate and hard to see your bacteria. So instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to slowly swirl it. I'm going to get a few bubbles, which is not the best. But if I give it a slow swirl like that, you can see we get kind of a tornado-like pattern in the center, and some of the bubbles kind of coalesce in the center. So while that's finishing stirring up, I'm going to prep my plates by color coding them with the appropriate antibiotic. So we're using kanamycin. In our lab, kanamycin is green. So I'm going to get a Sharpie that has green and draw a green stripe across it. Luckily it's right here. So sometimes people just put a simple stripe like that. That's wrong, because if I take off my top, the bottom, which is where the actual antibiotic LB agar is going to be, is not marked. So what you want to do is you really want to get in there, and you want to kind of mark it up like that. So that's one way of doing it. Or I usually like to go overboard, and I just make really thick stripes, and then get in there with that pen and just make sure that it's really obvious that this is a kanamycin plate. So now that our plates are ready to go, you can see that our bubbles have died down a little bit in our LB agar. And there are many different methods for pouring plates. I'm going to show you my method. So I'm going to first start by separating out our plates. Try to make a little bit more room here. And at this point, we're going to be exposing all of our plates to a whole lot of surface area, so we want to put a flame on and try to keep everything sterile. So start by opening up our media, flaming it off a little bit, and then I start by, we have little stacks of 3 and then 4. I lift up the top 2, pour in some media, swirl it around to try to cover the entire bottom. Then I do the next one up, pour in a little bit, kind of just eyeballing it at this point, swirl it around, pick it up, pour it in, swirl it around, and you can see there's a few bubbles in there. The method to get rid of those bubbles is you just flame it like that. So we're going to repeat that. So pick it up, pour it in, no bubbles there, we're good, pick it up, pour it in. You want to just cover it. There's a few bubbles there. I'll get rid of that bubble right now. So you see me reaching over the plates. That's bad technique. I should not be doing that, but hopefully it works out. There we go. There's no bubbles on that one. And then another thing is if you're moving the plates around, you want to be careful not to rock them left or right, because the media will splash up and then make the top stick to the bottom. So I'm going to slowly move that on top of that first stack that I plated to clear a little bit of room. And then we're going to
It's really good quality.
finish up our last little stack. So we Pour it in, make sure there's no bubbles, swish it around, pour it in, swish it around, and we're on a roll here. We're not getting any bubbles, so I don't need to flame anything. And last stack, no bubbles, we're all good to go. And you can see that out of one stack, we used about a little bit less than half a liter. So we're just going to repeat the process by opening one of these, striping it with our green, and then filling it up. Now, what some people do is a final step of flame sterilizing, and they will open the top and flame off each one, just to make sure that there's no fungus or bacteria or anything on there. We're going to forego this step for now with these large plates because they're going to get used immediately and they won't have time to get contaminated, hopefully. And that's it.